Good morning. Happy New Year's Eve day. So I'm really excited because we've got a lot of work to do. I just finished a workout, so taking post-workout creatine, even for my ladies, make sure you're taking some creatine. But we've got a lot of work today because I'm really excited. We've got some good goal setting work to do and some vision board setting work to do. And I'm really excited to maybe we can sit down later and go over how I do it all and what it looks like for my upcoming year. I'm so excited. I have some really good goals in place. And I kind of talked about this in a previous video, but we are starting, just like Brandon and I had this discussion the other day of not necessarily starting 75 hard because I've done 75 hard in the past and it's just the all-in mindset. And then when we finish 75 hard, we're like, oh, we're done. And we just went back to the way it was. So if you notice, you do any type of big program and that's what happens, it's not really the intent of it. So we're just focusing in a lot on our habits and our routines. So yes, we pretty much always do 75 hard anyways. We do those habits. We read 10 pages self-development. We drink over 100 ounces of water, so almost a gallon. I do 2 workouts a day, my 30-minute follow-along workouts that the team just presses play with. And then I always go for a walk or go for a bike ride or something along those lines. The things I don't do generally are take pictures every single day. And then follow a nutrition plan. And I found that the biggest thing that I wanted to focus on and kind of change this up is one, intent, right? So that makes a huge difference. I tell a lot of my clients that I work with, if you didn't know, I work with hundreds, thousands of clients inside of our Team BGF app with follow-on workouts, nutrition coaching, that type of stuff. And I tell a lot of them that you could be following a plan, but you're not going to get the best results unless you're intentional with it. And so I really want to focus in again on intent with it. Rather than just reading my 10 pages, am I really soaking it in? Am I taking notes and am I highlighting again? Because a lot of the times I was getting in this rut of I'm just kind of reading it, right? And then I'd finish a book and be like, what was that about? And then with my walks, can I make them more intentional by increasing my weight or anything along those lines? And then my nutrition was the biggest thing. So, I was hitting my macros in quotation marks. I was eating enough protein. I was eating enough meals, that type of stuff. But I found that a lot of my meals turned into oh, I'm going to grab a protein bar. I'm going to make a shake. I'm going to grab a yogurt cup. I'm going to grab a cottage cheese cup. I'm going to not that any of those things are bad. I don't want to say those. Those are great options. But that was my day. It wasn't this is a nutrient dense, filled with vitamins and minerals and colors and, balanced type meals. So I really am going to focus better on my meal preps. I'm going to focus on better on variety of foods and making sure that I'm getting lots of whole foods and vitamins and minerals. So I'm super excited. We already kind of started that and it's crazy. It's crazy. I already noticed a difference within my energy and my mood and getting through the day, and we're 3 days into that, which is just, it blows my mind. So I was doing all the things, but I'm just now changing how I'm intentional about it, and it feels so good already. So we've got more goal setting, we've got more kind of health wellness setting, some financial planning. I'm still finishing my vision board, so maybe we'll sit down and go over that. But I'm bringing you guys along for the craziest New Year's you've probably ever seen. We don't really do much besides some goal setting and stuff. But I guarantee you I'll be in bed by 9:30. Dude, mom, 2 kids, running a business. I can't even hang staying up till midnight anymore. So we'll see how that goes, but bringing you guys along. So I gotta go, I'm drinking post-workout, gotta go wake Brady up, feed Blair, and then I'll show you guys some of these good, healthy, nutrient-dense meals that I've been enjoying as well. Let's go. Brady's over there playing. Okay, first meal that we are doing is just some eggs. Yeah, I do them runny and I just pop the yolks. And then 3 tablespoons of egg whites. And then 2, what are you laughing about? 2 of the 100-calorie, will you grab me the box? 100-calorie oatmeal packs. These are so freaking good and they're so easy. You just fill up the line with like how much
160.
milk? What? 160 calories, sorry. So I do 2 of these. The maple brown sugar ones are super good and they're just steel cut oats. So on a kick of those, usually I just do like regular oatmeal and then add things to it, but I saw these at the store and was like, those look good. So this is meal number 1 of more whole food nutrient dense options. I've been tracking in our app, so I'll show you guys how I go about that. Okay, so a little chance for us to sit down and have a little chit chat because I am working on some goal setting for 2025 as well as my vision board, which I'll see if I can like put a little picture of it up. And it just makes me so excited. So if you don't properly sit down and like create your goals in your vision board, I'm gonna run through exactly how I do it. So that way if you guys want to, you can as well. I highly recommend this because a lot of the times, and I did this myself too, but I used to just like get into my little notes in my phone and just be like, I saw a post and it said, you know, they look like the rules for like a swimming pool. And I was like, that's so true. Because it was just like drink less alcohol, like sleep more, travel more. And it was just like not necessarily like specific things. And I was getting to the end of every single year being like, wow, I didn't reach my goal, or I didn't accomplish my goal, or I don't even know if I reached this goal because I wasn't tracking it properly. And I just kept going into the new year feeling defeated and broken down, and like I just wasted another year. And so I talk with a lot of my team and a lot of my clients. If you don't know, I coach hundreds and thousands of people inside of our app on how to properly do this. So that way we know that we are working towards those specific goals and actually being able to accomplish those specific goals. So the biggest thing that I recommend is like one, grabbing a journal, or like if you are a computer girly, you know, type it in your computer. But first, reflecting on 2024. A lot of the time I was just sitting there being like, wow, this year sucked, or I didn't do anything this year, or another wasted year, or, you know, I found that I was like really having these negative mindsets towards the specific goal years because I wasn't necessarily completing my goals because they weren't specific goals. So sit there and reflect on like what was good this year, like what happened that like is just like lighting your soul on fire. Maybe you found a new hobby, maybe you you know, fell in love, maybe you like started the process towards like a dream job or something along those lines. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy big either, but like what went well. And I also recommend like first off being like, what am I proud of? Like let's take time to like sit there and be like, wow, maybe I'm not where I want to be, but I at least came this far. And then, you know, going from there of like, what was my biggest obstacles? Were my biggest challenges? Because yes, we can sit there and be like, oh, this year sucked, or I didn't do anything this year. But that doesn't help us. It doesn't move us in the right direction. So it's like, what were my obstacles? Like I was working towards this specific thing and X, Y, Z, you know, was an obstacle for me. And really, I tell a lot of people like, it's all about, being a problem solver for us. Like, what is our goal? We all have obstacles. Those who are just getting to those specific goals are just being a problem solver and saying, look, I had this goal and this obstacle, this problem came in my way, so I overcame it by doing X, Y, Z. So I always like to sit there and be like, what are my roadblocks going to be? Or what were my biggest roadblocks? What were my biggest challenges? Where do I feel like I got stuck or down or, you know, X, Y, Z, and being that problem solver. So that way 99% of the time, those problems are going to re-arise. They're going to maybe look a little bit different, but they're going to show up again. So if we can just sit there and be like, oh, I'm going to create a game plan for these problems, these obstacles, it's going to push us so much further for this coming year. And I'm so excited. Next then would be like setting a big goal for ourselves. And I like to be like dramatic about it. Like, you know, some people go both ways. Like you'll hear, you know, on the internet of like, don't set it too big if it's not, you know, actually manageable. And then others are saying like, set it so big so that way like shoot for the moon, and even if you reach some of the stars, like whatever that saying is. And that's kind of where I'm at, like shoot for a really, really big goal. And then we can make smaller, more short-term goals to continue to work towards that. Like we don't have to become a billionaire. We don't have to lose 100 pounds this year, which, those are totally manageable, but we can also look at different stairs in that staircase rather than the top of the stairs. So, I say shoot for the moon and we'll land somewhere upon the stars, but it's totally based off of you, your like mindset and how you want to go about that. And then with those goals, we have to make them SMART goals. So, I changed a little bit. You may have heard the term of SMART goals, but it's like specific, measurable, achievable. Sometimes you'll hear realistic, but I like to change that to roadblocks, just like what we previously talked about, and then time sensitive. So, specific would be like, I'd like to lose 50 pounds. I'd like to save $100,000. I'd like to become debt free from specific debts. I would like to buy my dream car, which is a fill in the blank. Make it as specific as you possibly can. Measurable. Ultimately, how are you going to measure that goal? So like with, say, because I'm in the fitness realm, I'd like to lose 100 pounds. Making that measurable would be like, I'm going to lose X amount every single month. I'm going to do this by checking in using my weight and my waist metrics. I'm going to track my food, doing X, Y, Z to make it measurable. Achievable. Is it something achievable? Like, is it even something possible? I always say that like, impossible is just I'm possible, just split up into 2 words. So think about that. And then roadblocks, again, what are those obstacles? We're all going to run into obstacles. We're all going to have issues. So for instance, if you want to lose 100 pounds, but you're noticing that, say you're struggling going to the gym or you're getting a workout in, well, it's like, okay, what do I need to do? I need to start waking up at 5 a.m. If I struggle waking up at 5 a.m., I need a stronger pre-workout. I need a gym buddy. I need a bomb playlist. I need a workout routine. I need someone to hold me accountable, X, Y, Z, and then time sensitive. With that too, I always like to create short-term and long-term goals of, like I said, like really, really big goals, and then short-term ones of being like, okay, well, by the end of the year, I want to accomplish this, but that means each month I need to accomplish this, each week I need to accomplish this, and then each day, you can break it down to daily ones too, and that goes into the next one of like, what are my daily actions? Because I tell a lot of people too, a lot of us are so focused on the top of the staircase that we're just so emotion-based versus action-based. So emotion-based would be like, why am I not getting there? I deserve to lose 100 pounds. I've been working so hard. Where it's like, if it's action-based, it's like, I've been hitting my protein calories. I've been getting a daily workout in. I've been getting a daily walk in. I've been eating 3 servings of fruits and vegetables every single day. When it's action-based and it's factual-based, we can take out the emotions and just be much more clearer on that goal. And it becomes so much more maintainable. Like, 100 goals is a really big goal, right? So, but going for a walk that's 30 minutes long seems like, oh, okay, that's no big deal, right? And then always celebrate those milestones. So that's usually the steps that I go into just with my journaling and things like that. And then I'll create a vision board. So usually I'll take those goals and then just like go over to Canva and Pinterest. And in Pinterest, I'll look up like travel aesthetics or like family aesthetics or friendship aesthetics or whatever that goal is, and you can find like cute little fun pictures of it to just like really manifest it and put it into your brain. Another huge tip that I recommend is like setting little things throughout your day. Like if you're like a sticky note girly, or for me, like on my desk, I have this reminder. And it's like a picture of all of us, and it says, Bree, your family is counting on you. Let's get to work. Other ones could be like, making an electronic vision board and like putting it as your screensaver, or setting your alarm as that goal. It's really, really hard to set snooze if it's like your family's like well-being is relying on you getting out of bed right now. Like, are you gonna sit and press snooze, or are you gonna get up? Like, majority of the time you're gonna get up because you're like, oh, like that's a big goal, that's a why. And going into that, like setting your why. So scientists say that you should ask yourself why on a specific goal 7 times to get to the truest purpose, which just blows my mind. It's really, really challenging. Like, I've tried it for specific goals. But that's like the deepest core of why you need to do it. So if you want to lose 100 pounds, like, sorry, that goal is only going to get you so far. But if you ask yourself, like, why? Well, I want to be here longer for my family. Why? You know, like, I want to experience those moments where, like, Brady's walking down the aisle, and where Blair is graduating from college, and, you know, those types of things. And it's like, okay, why? So continue to dig deeper, 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 deeper for those whys. One of my favorite books is The Compound Effect, and it talks about how, I believe it's in The Compound Effect, but it goes back to your why of, like, if someone asked you to walk into a burning building for $20, you'd be like, yeah, no thanks, like, not worth it, right? But it's like, hey, you need to walk into that burning building because your family's in there, or, you know, that deeper purpose, you're like, you know, sprinting towards the front door, right? So hopefully this is helpful. I'm working on all of mine, finishing up that vision board as well, and it just like lights me on fire and gets me so excited. So I would love to hear like some of your guys' goals down below. So let's crush 2025.
Last meal, 75 hard, 75 meal we've had last week.
What? 6 ounces of beef?
5 ounces. Jesus Christ.
I was asking for yours.
Don't worry about me. You two know shit.
Fran, I'm not posting that.
Do yours. I do 6, you do 5, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, smile big for
You can get your own.
Smile big for the camera.
Will you stop? Okay, doing 5 ounces. Brandon does 6 ounces. Sweet potatoes. Game changer has been meal prepping. Actually, just ingredient prepping. That's my biggest recommendation. If you're working on trying to be better at meal prepping, just focus on ingredient prepping because it makes it so much more simple than trying to come up with all these complex meals. And then you can like mix and match throughout the weeks, throughout the days, because you already have all the ingredients already prepped. So that's ultimately what we do. So prep your protein source, prep your carb source, and then as you go throughout the week, you just put them together and make your meals. It's really that simple, people. All right, so we're doing some of these. I'm going to pop these in the microwave and then add some avocado on top of it. I don't know if you guys can see all that, but we have tons of sweet potatoes that we just made. Supplements, so I do 3 prenatals since I'm still nursing Blair. Brandon does the microfactor, which is like a pack with vitamins and antioxidants and the probiotics and the CoQ10s and the fish oil. And then Full Mega, which is a fish oil. I take 5 of them. This ultimately helps with like joint health and heart health and inflammation. Plus like mom brain is a real thing, so cognitive development. If you are working on your like waistline, be taking this. Joint mobility, because we're not getting any younger over here, so that just, I pair it with my Full Megas to make sure I'm doing those, especially since I work out with dumbbells. And then GDA, which is a glucose disposal agent. Since I'm having so many carbohydrates right now, I always make sure to take 2 to 3 of these a day. So that way it just makes sure that I'm properly utilizing the carbs that I'm eating. And then we'll take reds and greens, magnesium tonight. Those are kind of the foundational supplements. We take post-workout and then protein powder and our protein ice creams. But other than that, the regimen is not super crazy by any means. But I swear it makes a huge difference. So Brandon takes 3 Full Megas, which we're gonna have to grab another one, and then the microfactors. So foundationals to fill the gaps that we're not hitting in dinner.